Today, we are going to talk about the climate past, present, and future. But first of all, what is climate? Climate is the outcome of many factors coming together that can affect the environment surrounding us. So, Earth's age is more than 4.5 billion years. To put that into perspective, if you were 100 years old, then the Earth would be older than you by 4.5 million times. Isn't that crazy? So, climate goes all the way back. The Earth has changed since then, of course, and so did the climate. Well, why is it important? I will keep you with that question in mind. Our scope will not go back 4.5 billion years ago, but let's just go back to about 140 years ago. Let's look at this chart for example. It shows the change in the temperature since 1880 up until now. Since the start of the industrial age, the amount of CO2 has been on the rise. Why does it matter? Because CO2 can trap heat, which in turn is one of the factors increasing the temperature. I mean, yeah, I know, you can wear lightweight clothes and put on some sunscreen, but there are more problems on the rise. Did you know that Earth has been melting like an ice cream? Well, not technically, because Earth is certainly not a cake nor an ice cream, but ice glaciers are melting away. And this brings us to the present. What are the current factors causing the rise of CO2, you might ask? Well, one of the human activities that causes the increase in CO2 is generating and consuming electricity. Many power plants generate electricity by burning fossil fuels, which in turn produces a high amount of CO2. As you can see in the graph, the amount of CO2 in gigaton for each year since 1990. This picture shows us Antarctica melting in just 1 week. Then, what about the future? For example, the West Antarctic ice sheet could melt in a couple hundred years, which is enough to rise seawater level by 5 to 6 meters, which is enough to flood Florida. As you can see in the image, if all ice were to melt around the globe, seawater level would rise by over 75 meters, submerging 20% of land. Now we know how important the climate is, and the first step to finding a solution is to understand the initial problem.